Today, we'll take a look at Returnal and see if this procedurally generated roguelike adventure in space is actually worth your precious free time. If you actually own a PS5 and want something made just for it, then this exclusive has probably been calling to you. The talk of haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, and gorgeous graphics are all true, but so is the chatter about frustration. Let's take a look at the basics. First things first, Returnal is a roguelike game. If you're not sure what that means, it means that the intention is for you to make it through the entire game in one shot. That's both a good and a bad thing, but we're gonna get back to that. For the true basics, you are in space. You crash land on an alien planet, and you're looking to get off said planet. So back to roguelike. What that means is every time you die, and you will die, you're gonna return to your ship. You're gonna lose almost all your stuff, and you're gonna start all over again. Oh, and the procedurally generated biomes will completely change and regenerate. There's also no way to get back what you lost. Nothing to go pick up. Nothing to go find in the wild. Nothing like that at all. All your stuff is just gone. On the plus side though, you won't always lose everything. There is a small handful of items and one type of currency that once you snag them will actually persist through death with you. But these items are very few and far between. Once you have those things, you will start with those things, those few things, at the beginning on a completely new map every time. That map consists of 6 biomes with a boss at the end of each one. Unfortunately, a lot of what can happen in those biomes when spawned seems a lot less to do with your skill and a lot more to do with your luck with the RNG. You see, that's because that luck with what spawns and drops is going to have the most impact on each run through the game. Returnal is a game brought to life from a developer more known for side-scrolling shooters rather than AAA games, and it shows a lot in the fights. Most of what you're doing is taking on swarms of enemies, sometimes like it or not, and simply trying to plow through the map. Returnal seems to give you play options, like the ability to take stuff a little bit slower, explore some side areas, look around for secrets, and find all kinds of stuff that's tucked away. But the thing is, if you choose to play that way, very often you're going to get ambushed, killed, and hey, reset and start all over, losing everything that you took all that time and effort to look for. It gets very frustrating. On top of all the shooting and exploring, there is an actual story that unfolds. It happens mainly through logs that your character has been leaving for herself, and also through an odd farmhouse that's strangely tucked into the map. The story unraveled a little bit slowly for us though. That brings us to what we think Returnal's biggest issue is really, the pacing. The biomes in Returnal can actually be quite large if you choose to go through and explore them. Add on all the time it takes to do so, then on top of that, how few hits your character can actually take, and you have a very delicate balance going on. What that equals is, if you don't have literal hours upon hours to dedicate to sit and play this game, you're going to make little to no progress in the game at all, and you are not going to be happy with this title. The thing that made us happiest with the game was the use of the DualSense controller. Returnal does some amazing things with this controller. The triggers are used very smartly for each weapon, and the weapon's alt-fire modes make amazing use of the triggers. The game takes full advantage of the haptic feedback in many ways, and the controller's built-in speaker is used in ways to make you aware of when resources are ready. It's fantastic and adds a lot to the experience. The game itself is a cool concept with an interesting story, and the use of recurring cycle does pull you in. That, starting over and over and over, makes you want to keep going to prove to yourself and kind of prove to the game that you can do it. However, if you're a casual or an adult gamer, The inability to stop playing without losing any progress not just may, but for sure will create a big issue for you. There's no place to save. There's no place to chill and log out. Nothing like that for you at all. You either complete the entire game from start to finish, or it's suggested that you put your console into standby and then hope nothing goes wrong with updates, no one wants to play anything else. Nobody wants to use that console for anything until you are ready to sit and pick this title up again. There really should be another option for those of us that don't have hours upon hours at one time to spend gaming, even if we'd like to. Here's the quick breakdown. As far as length goes, that's really up to you. You could fight everyone, explore everything, and this is gonna take you a good long time, while speedrunners are getting it done in about 90 minutes on average. The main story is interesting, but it comes together kinda slowly depending on how good you are at the game. Depending on your skills and the kindness of the RNG, gameplay can be frustrating, and when you add in the inability to save, you may get really upset with this title. The music and sound effects are wonderful and take full advantage of the PS5's abilities. As far as fun goes, that really heavily depends on you as a gamer. Even if you like roguelikes, these biomes are a bit big for a roguelike, and you are going to die. Probably a lot. Returnal is Alien meets Groundhog's Day, and it's a game you can't put down. But not because it's so good and so engrossing that you don't want to, though. It's because it kinda won't let you.